Hello, friends. Today we're going to begin with a parable, not one of Jesus's parables, but the parable of a scared caterpillar. If you can, try to imagine yourself, even if you're an adult, as the caterpillar, because that will help you to get the story better. So, you are a soft green caterpillar crawling around on the leaves of a bush, and there are other little caterpillars like you crawling too. And you feel very hungry and you start eating the juicy green leaves. You eat, and your body gets rounder and tighter, and then suddenly, pop, your skin bursts and falls right off. And inside, you find a brand new skin. And your friends shout, "Yay, let's do it again." So, for many days, you enjoy your life with your friends, crawling and eating and popping your skin. Life is fun. But then one day you don't feel hungry anymore and you feel a bit lazy and sleepy. And you look around and you see that your friends are no longer crawling around but hanging upside down from the stalks. Some of them are slowly getting covered with a kind of a thread. And you get frightened. What's happening to my friends? What's happening to me? Are we dying? I don't want to die. I want to keep on crawling and eating and popping. Then a voice calls out to you, and you look through the leaves and you see a sparrow. The sparrow says, "Don't go anywhere near those foolish ones. They're only going to become caterpillar soup inside. Come out from those leaves and I'll show you a better bush with lots of juicy leaves." And when you hear caterpillar soup, you become even more scared and you start shouting, "Help, help, somebody help me." And suddenly a shadow comes over you and you look up, and there in the sky is a beautiful creature. It has a furry body and four beautiful wings of pink and orange and yellow. And you say, "Who are you? Have you come to help me?" And he answers, "I'm a butterfly. Yes, I can help you because I was once a caterpillar too. Don't be afraid, you are not dying, but something very good is happening to you. Relax. Just hang on to a stem and soon you'll be covered up and inside your cocoon." But then you say, "What will happen to me in the cocoon? Will I have leaves to eat? Will it be bright?" "No, little one, it will be dark and you won't have leaves because you won't need to see and you won't need to eat. First, you lose your body and become caterpillar soup." "I don't want to lose my body. I don't want to become caterpillar soup." "Wait," the butterfly says. "Listen to the end. After your body melts, the magic will start. You'll get a new body, a head and eyes, and guess what else? Four beautiful, colorful wings. And when you are ready, you'll be able to crawl out of your cocoon and fly. No more crawling, but flying in the sky. No more leaves, but sweet nectar from flowers. You'll be a butterfly just like me. Believe me, it happened to me." And when you hear this, you are ready for the adventure. You hang on to a stem with your tail, and soon you're all covered up in a little dark room. Your body starts melting, and slowly a new body starts to form: eyes, tongue, legs, and beautiful wings. And at last, it's time to come out. And as you crawl out from your shell, you feel the warm sun on your body. Your wings start to dry and you spread them out. And then up, up and away into the blue sky to join your big friend, the beautiful butterfly. You find your other friends there too. And as you flutter among the flowers and sip the sweet nectar, you are so happy that you did go into your cocoon, because now you're happy and free. Dear friends, you may be wondering what all this has got to do with the gospel. Let's see if you can see the connection yourself. I'll be asking you some questions. The gospel continues from last week. Jesus is still talking to his disciples away from the crowds. It's a very important conversation. Last time, Peter was given a lot of bhav, a lot of importance by Jesus. But this time, it's the opposite. Shall we read? A reading from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 16. From that time on, Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and undergo great suffering at the hands of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and on the third day raised. And Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, God forbid it, Lord, this must never happen to you. But Jesus turned and said to Peter, Get behind me, Satan. You are a hindrance to me, for you are not setting your mind on the things of God, but on the things of man. And then Jesus told his disciples, If any wish to come after me, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. For what will it profit them if they gain the whole world but forfeit their life, give up their life? Or what will they give in return for their life? For the Son of Man is to come with his angels in the glory of his Father, and then he will repay everyone for what has been done. The word of the Lord. Let's see if you can answer some questions. Jesus started to explain to his friends what would happen to him in Jerusalem. You remember what would happen? He would suffer, be killed, and then be raised on the third day. Does this remind you of anything that happened to the caterpillars? They all had to die to their life as caterpillars. No more eating, popping, moving. The cocoon was a dark place, but after that, they would experience new life. Let's get on with the gospel. Now, Peter tried to stop Jesus from suffering and dying. He said, No, no, it shouldn't happen. And what did Jesus call him? He called him Satan. He said, Get behind me, Satan. Now, just a few minutes before, Jesus had said to Peter, I will give you the keys of the kingdom. Now, why was he calling him Satan? Actually, he was not. He didn't really call him Satan. Jesus recognized that it really was Satan who was trying to stop him from saving the world and was tempting him to stay safe and comfortable. Even in the desert, when Jesus first began, Satan came and said the same thing. And there also, Jesus said, Get away from me. And later, St. Paul reminded us about this. He said, Our struggle is not against blood and flesh, that means not against people, but against the spiritual forces of evil. Now, did Satan remind you of anyone in the caterpillar story? Who tried to stop the caterpillar from going into and becoming a cocoon? The sparrow? He was trying to frighten him by talking about caterpillar soup. By the way, a caterpillar's body actually does dissolve and then reforms into a butterfly. It doesn't just grow wings as I thought before. And I think the sparrow was just trying to make sure he would get his dinner that day, a nice juicy caterpillar. Satan does the same. He's not trying to make us happy. He's just trying to keep us away from following the Lord. And sometimes he uses people who love us, like Peter, to do this, to tell us, no, no, don't suffer. Now, what was the problem with Peter? Why was Satan able to use him so easily? Actually, Jesus himself gave the reason. What did Jesus say? Peter, you are not setting your mind on the things of God, but on the things of man. Means you are thinking of how to be comfortable, how to have a good life here, but you're not thinking about what God wants and what His plan is. Okay, so after that, Jesus spoke to all His disciples. He invited them to follow Him, and He said, "But when you follow me, you'll have to also pick up your own cross." Then He said something about saving their lives. What did He say? He said, "Those who want to save their life will lose it. Those who lose their life for my sake will find it." When you do what Jesus wants, even if it is suffering, you are going to find happiness finally. And finally, Jesus reminded His followers that one day things would be different. All those who are ready to follow Him, to die, would be rewarded when He came with His angels. Does Jesus remind you of anyone in the story? The butterfly? Yes, he is like the beautiful butterfly. He's gone through the whole experience of dying and he knows what comes after that. And he tells us this life after that is much, much better than what we have now. There's freedom and joy and peace. But we've got to get into that cocoon. We've got to die. We've got to go to the dark place. And St. John of the Cross says the same thing. This is a famous poem that he wrote, the beginning of it. He says, "One dark night, fired with love's urgent longings, the sheer grace, I went out unseen, my house being now all stilled." So he says the house is all your I want this, I want that. So you make it all these things are put to sleep. Okay, there's nothing left, I don't want this and that. And then you can go out into the dark night to meet Jesus. So St. John insists that if we really want to come close to Jesus, to have his joy, we must be ready to let go of things that we are holding on to. So, friends, today Jesus has given us a different kind of key. It's the key to complete happiness, to the key to life. And what is it? To lose our life. He says, lose your life. He says you must be ready to let go and live for love, even if it means some kind of sacrifice, some suffering. And each time you say no to yourself, you're stepping into the dark night and you're coming closer to me. And you will hear many people like Peter telling you the opposite. They'll tell you, look after yourself, be safe, be comfortable, no pain at all costs. But I want you to remember that it is the enemy who is trying to pull you away. And like me, say, get behind me, Satan. Come follow me all the way to life. Let's spend some time quietly today and just reflect on what God is saying to you. This may be the most important message of that whole gospel. If you are in a family or sharing group, share one thing that you feel may be keeping you back, which you are attached to, keeping you back from loving others and loving God. And then pray for the grace to let go. So see you next week. Do your bit and share this gospel with somebody.